everyone, my name is Yvonne and I'm the Senior Designer for WTA Interiors. So welcome to another episode of Tour It. Okay, so today we are in the heartlands of Stirling Road, and the house that we are going to be having this tour is actually a 3-room HDB resale flat. So what my clients actually proposed to me previously, they came with the requirements whereby they needed to house a family of 4 plus 2. Okay, and they wanted to actually expand their common bathroom because it's actually of a very constrained size. So they wanted to explore whether it could be, enlarged. And the third requirement that they had was that they did not want too much built-ins for carpentries in the house, just something simple and something easy, breathable and practical. Alright, so without further ado, let's go and check out what was done in the renovation. So let's start off with the entrance of the house. So for every typical 3-room resale flat, usually we will start off with a shoe cabinet on the left, and then on the right, typically there are all these switches for the house, and there is supposed to be this electrical box called the circuit breaker box. But for this house, because we actually did rewiring, so we repositioned the box into a built-in that I have done. So now the circuit breaker box is actually up there, whereby it is tucked out in a safe and sound place, and there's a storage cabinet that is built around it with a beautiful niche over here so that you can display items or even put your modem router into the cabinet. And at the bottom there's also storage for you to put more shoes. And beside this tall unit that was built, you can actually just get a very soft, shoe cabinet at the side. Some clients may have the requirement to actually do a built-in shoe cabinet with a settee, or if not, you can just get a loose piece like that. And if we see over here, this sofa is actually very, very big. It's actually a 2.8 meter sofa, and when my client first presented to me the idea of putting such a huge sofa, I was taken aback, but I told my client, you know what, let's go for it. Okay, so now let's move on to the dining area. Alright, so now we are at the dining area of the house, and if you can see this beautiful marble table, it's actually a 6-seater dining table. And if we were to pay special attention to the wall where the dining is, if you can see closely, there are actually bricks, lines on the wall. So if you were to notice, the dining area, even the sofa area and other areas of the house also has this brick wall design. So it becomes one of the highlights of the house. And now if we were to look up, that's where the house is actually lit up by 2 rows of track lights. If you also notice, there's a very short neck ceiling fan that's above the living area, because this type of old houses is typically not very high. So we need to buy something of a short neck. So that's all for the dining area. Okay, let's move on to the kitchen. Alright, so now if you can see, we are at the entrance of the kitchen, and it's actually separated by this glass sliding door. And now let's look at the kitchen. So for the kitchen, on the left, we are invited by the kitchen sink and also the dish rack. But over here, this is where we also have the pull-out tray. And over here, this is a very special setup that is getting recently very popular because young people nowadays, we don't cook a lot. And if you were to move further down, this kitchen is actually covered with a sintered stone top. And over here, I have 2 very nice full height appliance racks. So these 2 appliance racks actually all have pull-out trays to them. So practically, you can actually put your appliances and pull them out when you want to use them so that the fumes don't get into contact with the carpentry and get spoiled. Okay? And then over here, same thing. When we open this door above, that's where we see the switches. So what are these switches exactly? These switches 1, 2, 3, 4 actually controls each of the switches inside the appliance rack. And all these switches are well hidden inside the cabinet so that it gives us a very clean and very sleek look. And now we are on this side of the kitchen. If you look at this storage cabinet, let this serve as a utility storage. So you can see that the tall appliances are all placed in here. And then right beside it is where the fridge is. And then again beside it is where the washing machine and the dryer is. So this entire full height compartment, it becomes a utility area. So now we are looking at this wall on my left. So if you notice from the floor plan, this wall actually shouldn't be here. Why this wall is here and it actually flushes very nicely is because, remember, I mentioned that my clients had a requirement whereby the bathroom is too small. So we actually did an extension for the existing bathroom space. The homeowner already has a washing machine and a dryer, but sometimes really, dryers are not exactly the best for all sorts of clothing material. So they also wanted to have this laundry rack over here. And this laundry rack is actually a mechanical one and you can extend to both sides. And it has all the indoor drying functions. So outside of the common bathroom, you will see this very special cabinet over here. It's actually a utility cabinet. So what's so special about this utility cabinet is that at the bottom part, it's actually suspended from the floor. So you can put things like mops and all, with the pails on the floor in case it's wet to let it dry. And also over here, we actually prepared some hooks. So if you can actually remove all these shelves, you can even hook all the commonly worn clothes. Or maybe you can do some ironing over here and then afterwards hang the clothes over here. So it becomes a very useful utility cabinet. And now, let's go into the bathroom. So come, let's have a look at how this bathroom was changed. So, before that, this was actually a wall. Okay, there was a wall over here. There were two entrances to the bathroom. So what we did was we knocked off this wall to create a walkway, and there were pipes inside of this wall over there. So that pipes were actually boxed up and tiled up. And I was able to carve out a shower area over here. So this shower area, the special highlight is that there is actually two shampoo niches that we have created with the space that was given, and it's very useful for putting your shampoos and soaps when you take a shower. And in front of me over there is actually where the new vanity area was pushed into the kitchen. So you can see that the new vanity area actually has the whole perfect mirror setup. It has a very big basin and it has a very big vanity cabinet. So this is actually what won my client's heart of how I actually carved out the bathroom to have a bigger space than what it had previously. Alright, so now let's take a look at how this utility is actually transformed into a bedroom. Okay, let's go. Alright, so if you can see this wardrobe on my left is designed in a very special way. So this, apart from the conventional wardrobe designs whereby usually you have two doors opening and things like that, because it's a very small room and the requirement was actually to put a super single bed, a study table and a wardrobe. So this wardrobe is designed in this way whereby the top part is actually sliding doors, so it doesn't eat into the space of the study area obviously. And then the bottom over here, that's where we have drawers inside of the wardrobe to put undergarments, to put any other clothing and stuff like that. Okay, and we have one more very special compartment over here whereby the router is actually inside. So for the Wi-Fi system, usually it's too far to reach from all the way from the living room where the DB box was. So this cabinet was actually specially cut out with the doors to have these breathing louvers. So all these louvers will actually allow the signals to come out so that my client's son can actually do his work properly with adequate Wi-Fi. So now we are in the middle of the master bedroom and the bedroom 2. Let's look at the master bedroom. Okay, let's go. Alright, Alright, so here we are in a master bedroom. Behind me is actually what we call a L-shaped wardrobe. Let's see what's inside. Alright, okay, so for them, over here, this compartment is actually separated with hanging rods, top shelving, and at the bottom also drawers for you to store your personal items and things like that. A lot of people always wonder, like, what do you normally do with an L shape? Because it's going to create a lot of dead space and things like this. But for us, it's something different, okay? For my L-shaped cabinets, what we usually do is we create these doors that have more than 90-degree opening door hinges, and you see inside is actually filled with very nice hanging rods that are intersecting so that you can actually reach to your clothes very easily. And now let's look at the next compartment of the wardrobe. So over here, this is what we see, whereby on the outside the design it looks the same, but over here, okay, when we open, same thing, we have the hanging, the shelves, and then the drawers. And what is this? So it's actually, if you were to see from this side, it's a hidden niche. Alright, so this is where if you were to put any, maybe if your bed is facing this direction, and then you can actually use this niche as a mini side table. You can actually, there are sockets over there where you can actually plug and do simple light reading with the reading lamp and stuff like that. Okay, so that's all for the wardrobe. And now here is bedroom 2. So let's have a look. Behind me over here is a full height built-in wardrobe, whereby the client actually requested for it to be done up this way. If you notice that it is actually not done all the way till the end, because we wanted to house another row of shallow cabinets over here for practical usage. And in front of me is actually where a L-shaped study table is, and then followed by the queen size bed. So what is so good about this layout is that you have proper privacy, when doing your work over here, and then your wardrobe is over here. You also have space to access your clothes from over here, to take your stuff and things like that. And at the same time, there is still plenty of space available in the room. So it's better than the traditional layout of actually placing the bed the other way and then placing the side table the other way and stuff like that. I guess that's all for this room, and that's all for this video. Alright, so thank you all for joining us on today's episode. I hope you have liked the project that I've done for this house, and let me know in the comment section down below if you have any inputs or any suggestions of what you might like to see next. And remember to do like, share and subscribe to our social media handles. Do find out more of us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Alright, until then, I see you guys the next time. Bye!